I'm Taylor Huang, and I'm the owner of Classico Cafe, and among other businesses, food business, and then also the executive director of the Ethnic Business Coalition. So food is that bridge that connects everybody, that allows you to have conversations and to open up conversations. And I think that food in itself is the sustenance that we all need. And it has allowed really low entry barriers to entry for immigrant and ethnic folks who are newly immigrant to the U.S. So in using food as the base for the conversation, we can help get everybody around the table and bring all the folks together to plan and see how we can take this industry and help it grow and help immigrant communities integrate into the system, and also giving them an opportunity to start their business, to start their career, and at the end of the day is to support their family. There's a learning curve in which you need to integrate into the community, to introduce the food, and to be able to get people to try it. There's that, and then there's also a lack of financing. Not a lot of, the U.S. is all operate on credit, on being able to show your financial stability in order to grow your business. So finance is always a big issue for small business. They tend to use their own funds or borrow from friends and family, which doesn't allow them a lot of opportunity to grow. They can start the business, but in order to grow your business, you need resources. And so having the lack of that also hinders their ability to grow. Having a very low barrier such as MarketShare for them to go in, and also to get used to operating at a smaller scale, a business. What does it take to run a business, to operate a successful business, to interact with customer, to learn about customer service, and prepping, and so the whole gamut of things that you need to do in order to run a successful business, but having it on a much smaller scale, so you're not investing in a huge operation from the beginning, I think is a great opportunity for the immigrant community. And then for the general public, for us as customer, it's a great way to experience the ethnic cuisines and ethnic communities that make Seattle so great. It's bringing all of the different elements into one place, into a market that we can all bring families to experience, friends, tourism, and I think will be a great opportunity for Seattle in terms of elevating the importance of the immigrant community and what their contribution to Seattle has been.
My name is Shad Smuts. I'm a lead chef instructor at Le Cordon Bleu, Seattle. So I think the opportunity is almost a stubbed-in opportunity. The market will already be there, so they don't have to go through as much of this startup. It'll be a really good opportunity for them to check out what works and what doesn't work, to learn about the importance of starting up and what that's like. It'll additionally, hopefully, be a place for them to learn these sides of the business, so when they go on and do their thing, they're going to be that much further ahead. I think this would be a really exciting place to take people to try the different ethnicities that make this town what it is. For me, exploring ethnic cultures or other cultures has always been about food, and this would be a great place so I can have a little bit from here, I can have a little bit from there, and so on. So I think it could be a really fun, vibrant place. I'm excited when I think about the smells of the market and the food and the possibilities.
Hello, my name is Mei Yuk Wu. I am the manager of the Danny Wu Community Garden, which is a program of Interim Community Development Association. And Interim does a lot of community development, affordable housing, and we manage a garden in Chinatown International District. So my connection to food really was something at birth. As a person of color, as someone who was Chinese American, food was a really easy way for me to access my culture. And so I grew up in the kitchen. I grew up in an intergenerational kitchen as well. So I was learning alongside my mother and my grandmother of how to cook my traditional food ways. And I entered the food justice world because I noticed that there was this big dissonance between how we were talking about food and health and culture. A lot of folks were not making a connection between how culture and identity really shapes our food world. I think it's really worth it to touch into these communities because these folks are our past and they're also our present and they shape our future. And so they're often, especially the elder community and the immigrant community, they are often neglected and overlooked and pushed to the side. And they hold a lot of wisdom and they know how to do it right. And they know what mistakes have already been made. And so when we crowd them out and we don't give them the space to be heard, we end up making a lot of mistakes and we end up not being a whole community. We're not cohesive.
I'm Partik Singh. I work with the Green River Small Business Development Center. We're a federally funded program which provides free assistance for small entrepreneurs to get their business up and going. We provide help with business plans, through marketing, and getting funding. In the past, I've helped immigrant businesses get started. Although they might have business experience in their home country, it's hard for them to come to America and show the proof of at least 2 years of business history that a lot of banks want before they're even willing to consider small loans for them to get started. That's one of the first problems we face with helping small businesses get started, is showing that work history, because a lot of them transition from private work or they immigrate to America and they want to start their own business. Well, first is showing that history. From there, then getting them funded. Funding is the next big stage, as there's usually no kind of a cooperative help to provide the funding for them. Without training, without financial projections, without all of that about 60% of all startups fail within the first year, and then within the first 5 years it's a much higher rate than that. And then you couple that with small business owners that can't even afford a marketing plan. They can't afford for somebody to put together a branding for them, to put together a website or get marketing out for them. Well, that makes it that much harder for them to get started with this. And then with the food industry, it's also that there's a lot of regulations that they have to comply with, so it's good to have a program set up where they can kind of have a fallback, or they can have the training so that once they can start their own business, that chances of them being successful skyrocket. There are not a lot of current solutions that are available for small business owners that have no history to get started. A lot of them are having to put their house on the line just to fund their dreams of owning their own business. My world revolves around helping small businesses get started. So to me, it's kind of like all the troubles that I face every day working with small business to get them started. It's kind of like just an avenue for me to say, hey, if I can get you prepared, here's a way for me to put you in a program where you are going to be successful, period. I feel like with the training that this market will provide, and with all the assistance that it'll provide, that like to me it's like a game changer for a lot of immigrant businesses that'll be starting in America or in the Seattle region. And that's what I'm most excited about. I'm excited about coming to taste the food and sharing all of that, but to me, my world revolves around the business portion of all of this, and that's what I'm excited about, because every year I turn down so many immigrants that come to me to look for a business, because at the end of the day, banks don't want to work with them because they can't show 2+ years of history, or they don't have the necessary $100,000 that would take to remodel a place to turn it into a restaurant that they want it to be. And it hurts every time I have to say no to them, but just being able to be like, you know what, here's a great program which I'm going to recommend to you, and I would love to play any part I can in this, from helping them with business plans or with figuring out their financials, because it's a program I believe in.